Hi, I'm Joy, and welcome to the SideChef Studio Kitchen. Today, I'm serving my easy Cacio Pepe Power Granola with a rich and creamy burrata. When I'm not cooking in the SideChef studio, I'm hopping around advocating for insects as sustainable protein. I think the best way to introduce people to insects is through a cuisine I call uncomfortable comfort food. Food that you know and love with a fun, buggy twist. Let's get buggy. In the spirit of Earth Day and zero waste, I wanted to introduce a concept called edible upcycling. So we take food that might be going to waste, like cooked rice, and turn it into something new. Let's upcycle some rice. We have our leftover cooked rice here, and we're just gonna spread it out on our parchment-lined baking sheet, and you wanna make sure it's in an even, flat layer so that every grain gets exposed to the heat. So our rice is on the tray. We're just gonna use a spatula to spread it out. Just spread the rice out as much as you can so that it gets nice and dry in the oven. Our rice is ready to go. We're gonna let it bake in the oven for 1 hour. You can also do this in a dehydrator. Our rice has now been baking for 1 hour and it's perfectly dry, so let's puff it up. So we want our oil to be nice and hot so we can transform our dry rice into nice, puffy, crunchy grains that we can integrate into our granola. You'll know your oil is ready when you insert a chopstick and you immediately get bubbles all around. All right, let's puff some rice. We're gonna take a big handful and let it puff. And you'll see them bubble up and then float to the surface. We're gonna use a slotted spoon to scoop them out, and then we're gonna place them on a paper towel lined tray. That's edible upcycling, from almost waste to delicious taste. It's granola time. Let's preheat our oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Many savory granola recipes use egg white as a binder, but instead of potentially wasting an egg yolk, today we're using chickpea liquid or aquafaba. Here we have a colander in a large bowl, so we're gonna drain the chickpeas but reserve the liquid. A zero waste kitchen isn't too hard. It's simple as long as you think it through and have a strategy. Now that our chickpea liquid is drained, we're going to use a paper towel to pat them dry, like really dry, so that when they go into the oven, they roast up and get nice and crispy. Now that our chickpeas are nice and dry, we're gonna transfer them to a new bowl. Chickpeas also contain a ton of good protein and fiber. To the chickpeas, let's add our pumpkin seeds. I chose to include pumpkin seeds in my granola because they are more sustainable than other nuts, and if you live in the US, they're relatively local. All right, now I'm gonna add in my oats. A lot of oats, because it's granola, you gotta have oats. And of course, we'll add our puffed rice. Now we're gonna season it. We're gonna add salt, pepper. Of course, we need a lot of pepper. It's Cacio Pepe. And my secret Cacio Pepe ingredient, Za'atar. Now it's time for the real power, cricket powder. I believe that bugs are the future of food. They have more protein than beef, more B12 than salmon, more iron than spinach, and all essential amino acids. Not only are they super healthy, but when compared to cows, pigs, and chickens, they use significantly less land, water, and produce less greenhouse gases. Cricket powder is a great way to get started with edible insects. Even if you're a little bit freaked out at first, you can just mix it into whatever you're making and still get all the benefits of bugs. All right, let's mix it up. Here I have my aquafaba, and I'm just going to whisk half a cup of it to get it nice and foamy. Now that the aquafaba is nice and foamy, we're going to stream in the oil just as you would with an egg so that it integrates with the liquid and doesn't separate. Now we'll stream in the maple syrup for a little bit of sticky sweetness. Now it's time to combine everybody together. So we're gonna take our binder and pour it over our oat mixture, and then we'll let it sit for 10 minutes to absorb all of those liquids. It's been 10 minutes and our granola is ready to bring the Cacio and more Pepe. So here we have Parmesan and Pecorino, pepper, and we'll just fold it all in. Now, this is optional, But I'm going to add some roasted mealies for a little bit of extra power. To me, insects are so cool because they connect me to my food. With other protein, we think of it in parts, but with bugs, we consume the whole thing. No other snack is as delicious or sustainable. Let's mix them in. Now, all there's left to do is cook it. Let's pour the mixture onto the baking sheet. Now I'm going to press the mixture into the baking sheet to get a flat layer. Our granola is ready to go into the oven. We're going to bake it for 45 to 50 minutes or until the chickpeas are crispy and the mixture is dry. While the granola is in the oven, I thought I'd use this time to educate you guys on some more edible insects. So here we have some of the more common ones. We have crickets, mealworms, and we have ants. And paired next to them, you'll see their flavor counterpart. So crickets do have a really earthy, nutty flavor. So here they're paired next to walnuts. Mealworms, or mealies as I call them, do have a really savory, nutty taste to them. So they are similar to pumpkin seeds or pine nuts. Ants are one of my absolute favorite ingredients to use because they have such a sour, acidy taste, so you can equate them to lemon. There's no right or wrong way to consume edible insects. You can use them in soups, salads. They're really the perfect way to add protein, but also bring in the rest of the great benefits of bugs into whatever you're eating. I know that eating insects is a little bit intimidating, but don't be afraid. It's such a cool and easy way to eat more sustainably. Ooh, it smells amazing. It's cheesy, peppery, and everything is perfectly crisp. Allow this to cool completely before storing it in an airtight container. Thanks so much for getting buggy with me. You can enjoy this savory treat on its own, on soups, on salads, anything that needs a little extra peppery crunch. I hope that you learned a little bit more about edible insects and this recipe inspired you to give it a try. Happy Earth Month!